Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Blind Prince back at you again. Just want to talk about some things here this morning that we've been dealing with across the globe, across the nation, especially here in America. Um, One of them is racism. Well, the topic is racism. And we have here a lot of police officers lately that have been exposed for who they are. Um, Again, this is a big problem for us in America. We got to do something about it. Um, all over the news, you hear people getting shot by police officers. And I think the reason for that is because these officers are not, how should I put it, they're not culturally educated. It's like taking a guy that's going from America to Sudan, and if he doesn't have the proper cultural awareness training for that particular region, he's going to have a bit of a hard time, and he's going to clash with the people, and the people are going to clash with him because cultural upbringings are totally different. So that's what we have here in America. We have law enforcement officers, white, black, whatever color, Asian, Asian, Hispanic, not being culturally aware of the areas that they're patrolling. So you have this fear, and with fear, you're gonna have an internal divide in your structure, in your rank structure, in your system. And I thought about it. Once I heard all this stuff going on, all these shootings and all these Black Americans, African Americans, whatever you choose to call them, these people were being shot and killed. And the main thing was I heard they were unarmed. That to me leads to a point we just lightly touched on. How can you have a person, an officer, that's supposed to uphold the law and protect the community from illegal acts? How are you going to have that individual who took an oath, swore to do those things I just mentioned? How is he or she going to do that if they don't have the proper training? That's where you get what you get today. I mean, what we're having today in these days and times. This creates what I just spoke on, and that's that fear. If an officer pulls up on the scene, he doesn't really know how to talk to a black person because he grew up in Beverly Hills, or he grew up in an area where it was nicer. Everybody had tractors for lawnmowers, where this black man grew up in a place where nobody even had a lawnmower, or every other block had a lawnmower, one person. People lower middle class, I would say even poor, because our ancestry didn't have that type of stuff already set up for it. So we don't have that as it comes down the line. Whereas this over here, these people, they already had the land, they already had, in 70 to 80% of their families, they already have this stuff somewhere down the line. It may not be initially, okay, I got it, directly, but they can say somewhere down the line, somebody in their family has massive amounts of land and things like that that were available to them. We didn't have that. If we did, it was few far in between. So you got those two separate cultural backgrounds, and somebody's rolling up on a guy who on TV listens to rap music. I mean, on TV you see him portrayed as being thugs, disrespectful, rude, just very violent types of people. That's what you see. That's what the media is portraying these blacks or African Americans or whatever you choose to call them. They're being portrayed as being a very violent, unreachable race. And so you have this white officer who's rolling up, and he is totally and utterly terrified because he has no idea how to talk to these people, how to mix with them, how to communicate with them, and let alone trying to learn something from them, because first of all, they're black or whatever you call them, and he's white. And his mind, especially if he's the type where he's got that racist inner thought, he's not gonna really even want to learn anything. In his mind, it's like, man, let's just get rid of these folks. You can't teach them nothing. You can't give them nothing, because they're gonna always be what? Nothing. So he's got that fear, and then that's when you get this insane shootings with unarmed black men in America. Okay, it's uncalled for. It's totally uncalled for 99.99% of the time. You know, it's just uncalled for. I could see an officer that's gonna shoot a person, and the officer may be like 120 pounds, 130 pounds, and the person he's dealing with is 275 pounds, 6'4". That officer has every reason to believe that if this guy gets a hold of his weapon, he's gonna kill him. So he's got to do what he's got to do and stop that threat prior to it happening to him or anybody else. I get that. But these situations where there were like multiple officers on the scene, the officer might have gained control already, and still this outward aggression towards these people in these poor communities. It's got to stop. The only way it's going to stop is if we get the training to these officers, if they get the training that they need. Now, that may stop or slow or lessen the amount of problems that we're having right now, but it's not going to stop the racial divide. You have to have, with racial divide, you have to have generations of children have to be deprogrammed. For example, instead of teaching your kids that black and white is a separate thing, which it is always going to be, how about start teaching them that we look differently because we are different, and even you as an individual, you look totally different from your brother or your sister. So you don't have this fear of your brother or your sister, or you don't have this divide from your brother or your sister. You know, I remember standing next to my brothers and sisters and looking at them, and we all have different shades of skin. So what, I gotta treat them differently because their skin is lighter than mine or darker than mine? No, I accept them for who they are, because they are different, and each individual person is different. And that is what we've got to teach children, that people are different. No matter what they look like, no matter what they talk like, no matter what they wear, people are going to be different. And you have to be able to deal with that difference and grow and learn from it, not stagnate yourself with hypocrisy and racism. So I truly believe that there is a way to change it, but it has to start within the homes. And we've also got to change the governmental system too. Because at this point right now, if you take notice as to our government, it ain't nothing but people that's lining their pockets. These people don't know what it's like to not have. You stick them in the ghettos of America for a month, for a quarter of a year. Stick them in there for a quarter of a year and give them the same things that these people that are in these areas are dealing with. Let them hear the shooting at night. Let them lay down in their beds and worry about somebody kicking the door in, because the person that's kicking the door in is broke and all they want to do is feed their family. So guess what they're going to do? Rob dope dealers. They're going to steal from people that have money. They're not necessarily going in houses where people are unarmed and it's just like a family. They're going in there in houses where they know people have drugs and money, so they can sell it and get money for themselves or their kids. So put these people in these positions to where they have to live like that, and they'll see how it feels. Not to mention to have the skin color of myself or another Black American or African or whatever, and have them see what it feels like to be in a line where you see a white person gets treated differently than when you, because you got on a hoodie and sweatpants. We're not even talking about pants sagging. Pants are pulled up, and you get treated totally differently because of your skin color. Okay, you get an attitude treatment. You get the, well, we don't know what's going on or whatever. It's not always the case, but it's a high likelihood of it happening. And in America and everywhere I go in America and everywhere I have been, it's definitely been noticeable. So if we take note as to those things and change them within ourselves and our children and educate people and change that governmental system, those are the ways of fixing this. We have got to be unified in this, though. We have got to be unified. If we're not, we're going to get what we have here today, and that's all this mess, all this nonsense, all these tax dollars being wasted, all these government speeches for nothing, because ain't nobody going to do nothing. Nobody's going to change. These people are going to go back to their houses. They're going to go to sleep. Those people that are in the hood are going to go back to their shack or whatever they're living in, and they're going to go to sleep or not, be up all night wondering when they're going to get their next meal, or wondering how they can set another caper to rob somebody else, or wondering when they're going to next welfare check or something like that's going to come in. These people don't have to worry about that. These people don't have to worry about this. There's certain things in each community and each culture that affect the way people deal with people. Now, is there racism? Does racism go both ways? Hell yes, it does. I can almost certainly tell you of at least 6 or 7 people that I know in my life that are my color that are racist. I know this for a fact. Those type of people I don't deal with. I don't talk to them. I don't share my energy with them, and they definitely don't have an effect on me. But I do know that racism goes both ways. It ain't just white against black. It ain't just black against white. It's a yin-yang effect. It's all working in there together, and that's why we're dealing with this today, and what we have. So if anybody has anything they would like to share, get at me. Just post a little comment in the video, and hit me up and let me know what you know, so we can stick together and fix this problem of racism in America, cops killing people. Let's do this. Let's make this happen, y'all. Let's make a change. I'm out.